One potential explanation that Walters alluded to is a growing dissatisfaction with the network's political positioning. Faulkner, a host who managed to maintain a degree of balance in her approach to political topics, may have found herself increasingly uncomfortable with the polarizing direction Fox News has taken in recent years. While the network has always been right-leaning, there has been a noticeable intensification in its rhetoric, particularly in its coverage of elections, protests, and other politically charged events. Faulkner's departure could be seen as a reflection of this internal tension, where moderate voices are feeling more isolated. The pressure of maintaining journalistic integrity in such a polarized environment may have been another factor influencing Faulkner's decision. As a journalist with a track record for thoroughness and fairness, she may have felt that her role at Fox News was becoming increasingly difficult to reconcile with her professional values. Walters' revelations about internal discussions and struggles point to a deeper narrative of conflict behind the scenes, where Faulkner was potentially faced with decisions that tested her personal and professional boundaries. Faulkner's exit also raises important questions about the future of diversity at Fox News. As one of the most prominent African-American women in the network's history, her departure leaves a significant gap. Faulkner often spoke about the importance of diversity in media, not just in terms of race, but also in thought and perspective. Her presence on the network represented an effort to expand its appeal beyond its traditionally conservative audience. Losing such a figure could have long-term implications for Fox News, as it seeks to stay relevant in an increasingly fragmented media environment. Walters' revelation also touches on the broader dynamics at play within cable news, especially concerning women of color in leadership roles. Faulkner's departure highlights the challenges faced by minority women in high-profile positions, particularly in politically charged organizations. Her exit could be seen as part of a larger trend, where women of color in media are asserting their agency in environments that may not always support their professional or personal growth. This move could inspire others in similar positions to reconsider their roles within their organizations, potentially leading to a broader conversation about representation and leadership in media. While Faulkner's decision to leave Fox News is significant in its own right, the timing is also noteworthy. The media landscape is undergoing rapid change, with cable news networks facing unprecedented competition from digital platforms and social media. Traditional news outlets are grappling with how to retain viewers in an era where information is increasingly consumed in real time on smartphones and computers. Faulkner, a seasoned media professional, may have seen the writing on the wall and decided that now was the right time to pivot to new opportunities. The decision to leave a network like Fox News is never easy, especially for someone who has been with the organization for so long. Walters hinted that Faulkner had been weighing her options for some time, and this was not a decision made lightly. The pressures of being a public figure in a hyper-partisan environment, combined with the demands of 24-hour news coverage, can take a toll on even the most seasoned journalists. Faulkner's departure could very well be a personal decision rooted in a desire to find a healthier work-life balance or to pursue other passions that had been put on hold due to the rigors of her job. One cannot overlook the role that viewership and ratings play in decisions like these. Cable news is, after all, a business, and the competition for viewers is fierce. Walters suggested that Faulkner may have been increasingly frustrated with the focus on sensationalism and ratings-driven content, which sometimes came at the expense of thoughtful, in-depth reporting. This tension between quality journalism and the demands of the business side of news is not unique to Fox News. It is a challenge faced by all major news organizations. However, for someone like Faulkner, who values journalistic integrity, this could have been a tipping point. Another aspect of Faulkner's departure that Walters touched upon was the role of personal growth and ambition. After years of being a key figure at Fox News, Faulkner may simply have outgrown the network. Journalists, like professionals in any field, seek new challenges and opportunities to grow. Faulkner has a wealth of experience in the industry, and her departure could be a signal that she is ready for something bigger, perhaps a move to another network, or even a shift into a different realm of media, such as podcasting, streaming, or even documentary filmmaking. In the context of Walters' revelations, Faulkner's departure could also be seen as part of a broader exodus of prominent figures from traditional media. In recent years, several high-profile journalists and hosts have left their long-standing positions at major networks to explore new opportunities in the digital space. With the rise of independent media platforms, podcasts, and social media influencers, the traditional cable news model is being challenged. Faulkner may be positioning herself to take advantage of these new platforms, where she can have greater control over her content and engage with audiences in new ways. Walter's insight into the possible reasons behind Faulkner's departure also invites speculation about the future of Fox News. The network has experienced several high-profile exits in recent years, and Faulkner's departure could be a sign of deeper issues within the organization. As the media landscape evolves, Fox News may need to rethink its approach to programming and talent management. Losing someone of Faulkner's caliber could prompt the network to reassess how it retains top talent, especially those who bring a unique voice and perspective to its programming. Faulkner's exit could also have implications for the broader political conversation in the U.S. As one of the few African-American women in a prominent role at a conservative network, she brought a unique perspective to discussions on race, politics, and social issues. Her departure may leave a void in these conversations, both at Fox News and in the wider media landscape. Faulkner's voice was an important counterbalance in a network that has often been criticized for its lack of diversity, and her absence could shift the tone of political discourse on the network moving forward. Walter's revelations about Faulkner's departure are sure to fuel speculation about what her next move will be. While nothing has been confirmed, there are already rumors swirling about potential opportunities in the works. Given Faulkner's experience and reputation, she is likely to have no shortage of offers from other networks or media organizations. She could potentially move to a network like CNN or MSNBC, where her perspective might be a welcome addition. Alternatively, she may choose to take a step back from traditional media altogether and focus on independent projects that allow her more creative freedom. The news of Faulkner's departure also highlights the shifting dynamics within the world of news media, where the lines between journalism, entertainment, and opinion are increasingly blurred. Faulkner has always walked this line carefully, balancing her role as a journalist with the demands of hosting a show that often delved into opinion-based content. Walter's comments suggest that this balancing act may have become more difficult in recent years as the pressure to generate ratings and engage audiences with more sensational content increased. Harris Faulkner's decision to leave Fox News, as Jesse Walters revealed, is more than just the departure of a prominent news anchor. It is an event that holds broader implications for both the network and the evolving landscape of broadcast journalism. To understand the depth of this moment, it's crucial to delve into the myriad factors that could be driving her exit and what it represents on multiple levels. Faulkner's departure is a turning point that forces us to look beyond the surface-level announcement, compelling a deeper examination of media culture, industry trends, and personal agency in today's high-stakes news environment. Faulkner, over her years at Fox News, has become synonymous with balanced yet incisive journalism, especially in a polarized climate where neutrality can be a scarce commodity. Her departure may be signaling a larger cultural shift within Fox News, an organization historically known for its conservative viewpoints, but one that has undergone significant internal changes as it seeks to hold on to its viewer base amidst intense competition from newer, more ideologically extreme outlets like Newsmax and OAN, One America News Network. It's plausible that Faulkner, with her more moderate approach, found it increasingly difficult to operate in an atmosphere where the ideological divisions, both within the network and its audience, grew sharper. This could suggest that her decision to leave reflects a tension between holding true to her journalistic principles and fitting within a framework that demands more overt partisanship. What Walters perhaps subtly alluded to in his commentary is the shifting tectonics of cable news viewership, where the audience has become more polarized and where networks have increasingly catered to the extremes. In this climate, Faulkner's role, marked by a commitment to traditional journalism, might have seemed out of place or outdated. However, this isn't just about a clash between ideology and journalism. It also touches upon the very nature of how news is consumed today. Viewers no longer come to news networks to merely be informed. They often seek affirmation of their pre-existing beliefs. Faulkner, by striving to strike a more nuanced tone, may have found herself in a more precarious position, not fitting into the increasingly binary division of media. This brings us to the idea of audience loyalty. Faulkner's departure could carry major implications for the demographics and loyalty patterns of Fox News viewership. Historically, Fox News has cultivated a deeply loyal following among conservative viewers, but Faulkner, as one of its few high-profile black female anchors, may have drawn in viewers who might not have traditionally aligned with the network's core base. With her departure, Fox risks alienating those segments of its audience, further narrowing its appeal. Moreover, Faulkner's absence could disrupt the delicate balance that many news anchors try to strike between appealing to their established base and attracting new viewers. There's also a gendered aspect to Faulkner's departure that deserves attention. Women in cable news, especially women of color, often face challenges that go beyond those encountered by their male counterparts. While Walters did not explicitly delve into this, it's easy to infer that Faulkner may have been grappling with the pressures that come with being both a woman and a person of color in a predominantly white, male-driven industry. The expectations placed upon her, both as a symbol of diversity and as a voice of moderation, could have added an extra layer of complexity to her role. Faulkner's departure may underscore a wider issue in the industry where, despite a public emphasis on diversity, true inclusivity and empowerment within media organizations remain elusive. At a broader level, Faulkner's exit raises questions about the future of on-air talent in the ever-changing media landscape. Cable news is no longer the singular powerhouse of information dissemination it once was, challenged by the rise of streaming services, digital platforms, and independent media outlets. The new generation of news consumers is far more likely to seek out their information on YouTube, Twitter, or through podcasts than sit down to watch a traditional broadcast. In this new media ecosystem, high-profile journalists like Faulkner may feel constrained by the traditional format and may see new opportunities for growth outside the rigid confines of cable news. Walters hinted that Faulkner had other ambitions in mind, and it is conceivable that she sees this as the perfect time to reinvent herself in a way that aligns more with the direction the media industry is heading. With this in mind, one potential avenue for Faulkner post-Fox News could be the digital media space, where she would have the freedom to craft content that resonates with a broader audience. In a digital-first world, the old rules of gatekeeping no longer apply, and Faulkner could potentially leverage her strong following to launch her own independent media brand. This would not only give her more control over her narrative and content, but could also free her from the constraints of network guidelines and corporate oversight. Independent journalism and commentary have seen a boom in recent years, as platforms like Patreon and Substack have allowed journalists to reach their audiences directly, bypassing the traditional media apparatus altogether. Walters' revelations also suggest that Faulkner's departure might be part of a larger pattern of high-profile journalists leaving major networks to find more autonomy and creative control elsewhere. This shift points to a growing trend where media figures tired of the limitations imposed by corporate networks are choosing to strike out on their own. For someone like Faulkner, who has built a recognizable brand and following, this could be the perfect opportunity to expand her reach. Whether she chooses to focus on a personal podcast, a digital news channel, or even broader ventures in production, her audience will likely follow her into these new spaces. It's also worth noting that Faulkner's departure might catalyze a broader conversation about the role of women, particularly women of color, in leadership positions within media organizations. Walters, in framing Faulkner's decision, hinted at internal struggles that went beyond ideological differences, perhaps alluding to structural challenges faced by women in these roles. The media industry has long been criticized for its glass ceiling, and Faulkner's exit could serve as a flashpoint for discussing why more women, especially women of color, are not moving into the upper echelons of media leadership. Her decision to leave could inspire other women in similar positions to reevaluate their careers and seek out environments that are more supportive of their growth and leadership. This departure also has broader implications for Fox News, as it grapples with maintaining its dominance in a highly competitive and changing media environment. Losing Faulkner, one of its more nuanced and balanced voices, could shift the network further to the right, as other more hardline personalities fill the void she leaves behind. This could either strengthen Fox's appeal to its core audience or, alternatively, narrow its scope, making it less appealing to moderate viewers who appreciated Faulkner's approach. Either way, her departure signals a moment of introspection for the network as it navigates the delicate balance between holding on to its traditional audience while adapting to the future of media consumption. Another aspect to consider is the internal culture at Fox News and how Faulkner's departure might reflect broader organizational dynamics. Over the years, Fox has faced multiple controversies surrounding its workplace environment, particularly regarding its treatment of women and minorities. While Walters did not delve into this explicitly, Faulkner's exit might suggest ongoing issues within the network's culture that need to be addressed. Her departure could prompt a reevaluation of the working conditions and career advancement opportunities available to women and minorities at Fox News, forcing the network to confront any lingering issues that may be contributing to the loss of talent. The timing of Faulkner's departure also raises questions about Fox News' broader strategy moving forward. The network has seen several high-profile exits in recent years, with some of its most prominent faces either retiring or moving on to other ventures. This constant churn at the top levels of talent creates instability, both in terms of programming and viewer loyalty. Faulkner's departure adds to this uncertainty, and Fox News will need to quickly find a replacement who can fill the void left by her absence. However, finding someone with Faulkner's combination of experience, charisma, and broad appeal will be no easy task. Moreover, Faulkner's departure, when seen alongside other exits from the network, may hint at deeper issues within the organization. Walter's revelations suggested that Faulkner had been contemplating her decision for some time, indicating that this wasn't a spur-of-the-moment move. It's possible that Faulkner's decision reflects broader dissatisfaction among talent at the network, and if so, Fox News could be facing a talent retention crisis in the coming years. High-profile exits often lead to a domino effect, with other employees reconsidering their positions in light of the changing dynamics. Faulkner's departure also comes at a time when the media landscape is undergoing seismic changes, particularly with the rise of artificial intelligence and automation in news production. As traditional journalism faces increased pressure from automation, many journalists are reconsidering their roles and how they fit into this rapidly evolving industry. Faulkner's departure could be seen as part of this broader trend, where journalists are looking for ways to remain relevant in a field that is being increasingly transformed by technology. Whether through independent ventures, digital media, or more specialized forms of journalism, Faulkner may be positioning herself for the next phase of her career in a way that allows her to stay ahead of these technological shifts. Harris Faulkner's decision to part ways with Fox News, as revealed by Jesse Walters, carries more significance than one might initially perceive. Beyond the individual ramifications for Faulkner's career, her departure unveils a cascade of underlying themes that span media ethics, industry trends, societal dynamics, and organizational cultures. Faulkner, a familiar and trusted figure for many viewers, represents more than a veteran news anchor leaving her post. Her exit is symptomatic of the changing tides in American journalism and the pressures of working within an increasingly polarized and ideologically driven media landscape. To continue unpacking the myriad factors contributing to and implications arising from this situation, it's crucial to explore the forces shaping both her personal journey and the broader trajectory of cable news. A pivotal element in Faulkner's departure that deserves greater attention is the increasing corporatization of media. Networks like Fox News are not just news organizations. They are massive corporate entities with financial objectives, political affiliations, and audiences that expect certain narratives. For Faulkner, who has balanced journalistic integrity with the network's conservative leanings, navigating this corporatized environment might have become untenable. Many modern journalists find themselves caught between their duty to report the truth and the demands placed upon them by their employers to produce content that boosts ratings and adheres to an overarching corporate agenda. Faulkner may have found this conflict increasingly difficult to reconcile, especially in a network environment where the focus on delivering certain types of stories, those that cater to audience expectations rather than journalistic impartiality, becomes paramount. Fox News, like other networks, operates under the same profit-driven paradigm as any corporate business. This means that decisions made at the executive level are often based on maximizing viewer engagement, securing advertising dollars, and maintaining competitive ratings in a crowded marketplace. As a result, many networks have leaned into sensationalism and outrage-driven content to capture and maintain audience attention. For Faulkner, who has earned respect as a serious journalist capable of tackling complex political issues, this dynamic may have led to a growing disillusionment. She may have faced increased pressure to align with content that prioritized ideological affirmation over the kind of nuanced reporting she was known for, pushing her to rethink her place within the network. Faulkner's experience points to a larger conversation about the relationship between media outlets and the shaping of public discourse. As a top-rated host, she played a significant role in framing political and social conversations for millions of viewers. Her decision to step away suggests that, in her estimation, the kind of discourse fostered by Fox News may no longer align with her personal or professional values. Walter's commentary touched on potential ideological clashes, hinting at broader internal conflicts within the network regarding its political direction. If Faulkner's departure is indeed rooted in her discomfort with the growing polarization at Fox, it could reflect broader dissatisfaction among moderate voices at the network who feel their capacity to present balanced reporting is increasingly constrained. At the core of this dynamic is the growing gulf between moderate and extreme political voices within the media landscape. The rise of hyper-partisan outlets, not only on the right but also on the left, has shifted the goalposts of acceptable discourse in American media. Outlets like Newsmax and OAN have created new competition for Fox News, often adopting even more hardline positions, which has had the effect of nudging Fox further right in an effort to keep pace. In such an environment, anchors like Faulkner, who have traditionally strived for a degree of balance, may feel that their capacity to contribute meaningfully is diminished. If Faulkner's departure signals a rejection of this increasingly extreme climate, it may speak to a broader industry trend where journalists and media professionals who value traditional journalism are seeking exits from networks that prioritize sensationalism over substance. This trend also speaks to the complex interplay between journalism and entertainment in contemporary news media. Cable news networks, particularly in the U.S., have increasingly blurred the lines between these two domains, often packaging news in a way that resembles reality television more than traditional reporting. In many cases, stories are chosen, shaped, and sensationalized not because they are the most important or impactful, but because they are the most likely to attract viewership. Faulkner's departure may suggest her growing discomfort with this hybridization of news and entertainment, a phenomenon that sacrifices depth for immediacy and often reduces important issues to sound bites. This shift away from hard news and toward pundit-driven programming represents one of the most significant evolutions in modern news media. And for Faulkner, navigating this terrain may have led to personal and professional friction. Moreover, Faulkner's departure provides a lens through which we can view the future of journalism in a digital-first age. The rise of streaming services, social media platforms, and independent news outlets has fundamentally altered the way news is produced and consumed. Traditional cable news outlets like Fox News are increasingly competing with a decentralized media ecosystem, where viewers can access news in real time across multiple platforms. Faulkner's decision to leave could be influenced by a recognition that the cable news format is, in some ways, a relic of a previous era. The fragmented media landscape of today offers a multitude of opportunities for journalists to connect with audiences in new and innovative ways, and Faulkner may be positioning herself to take advantage of these emerging platforms. One possibility that opens up as Faulkner exits Fox News is the rise of independent media voices. In recent years, a number of prominent journalists have left traditional news organizations to strike out on their own, building independent brands on platforms like YouTube, Substack, and Patreon. These platforms allow journalists to engage directly with their audiences, free from the constraints of corporate editorial oversight. Faulkner, with her established following and reputation, could find success in this realm, where she would have complete control over her content and the freedom to pursue stories and topics that align with her values. The growing trend toward independent journalism underscores the changing dynamics of the industry, where legacy media organizations no longer hold a monopoly on news production or dissemination. Faulkner's departure also brings into focus the issue of diversity in media, both in terms of racial representation and diversity of thought. As one of the few high-profile black women at Fox News, Faulkner occupied a unique and important space within the network. Her presence challenged the often homogeneous makeup of cable news and provided a different perspective on issues of race, politics, and society. With her departure, Fox News loses one of its most prominent voices of diversity, both in terms of identity and ideology. This raises questions about the network's future direction and commitment to fostering a diverse range of voices and perspectives, both on screen and behind the scenes. For Fox News, Faulkner's exit may lead to an introspective moment regarding its handling of diversity. While the network has historically been criticized for its lack of diversity, Faulkner's role symbolized an attempt to break through that perception. With her leaving, it may become harder for Fox to argue that it is serious about elevating minority voices within its ranks. Furthermore, Faulkner's departure could signal that the network's environment is not conducive to retaining talent from diverse backgrounds, which could have long-term consequences for its ability to attract and retain a broader audience. This is especially significant at a time when viewers are increasingly seeking media outlets that reflect their own experiences and perspectives. Additionally, Faulkner's departure provides an opportunity to reflect on the challenges faced by women of color in leadership roles within media organizations. Despite her success, Faulkner likely faced barriers that her white male counterparts did not encounter. These challenges may have included tokenism, being held to higher standards, or being asked to represent all people of color in a predominantly white organization. Her exit raises important questions about the structural barriers that women of color continue to face in the media industry, and whether these organizations are doing enough to foster truly inclusive environments. Walter's revelations regarding Faulkner's departure, especially the suggestion of internal discord, also raise questions about the culture of Fox News itself. Fox has been known for its strong, top-down leadership and adherence to its conservative editorial stance. However, this tightly controlled environment may have made it difficult for talent like Faulkner to operate freely, especially if she found herself increasingly at odds with the network's direction. Her departure may thus be reflective of a broader issue within the organization, where dissenting voices are marginalized or pushed out. If this is the case, it could suggest that Fox News is becoming even more ideologically rigid, potentially alienating talent and viewers who do not fully align with its editorial slant. Another dimension to consider is how Faulkner's exit will impact Fox News programming and ratings. As a host, Faulkner brought a certain level of gravitas and credibility to Fox's lineup, and her departure could leave a noticeable gap. Replacing a figure like Faulkner is no easy task, especially given her widespread appeal and long-standing relationship with viewers. If Fox News is unable to find a suitable replacement, it risks losing viewers who tuned in specifically for Faulkner's brand of journalism. Furthermore, her departure could serve as a warning to other key figures at the network who may also be questioning their future within the organization. The ripple effects of Faulkner's exit are likely to extend beyond Fox News, influencing the broader cable news industry as well. Faulkner's decision to leave a network as influential as Fox could inspire other high-profile journalists to re-examine their roles within their respective organizations. Her departure may encourage more media professionals to prioritize their own values and seek out platforms that allow for greater autonomy and creative control. This shift could result in a brain drain from traditional media outlets, further weakening their influence as more talent gravitates toward independent or digital-first ventures. If you liked this video, please give it a like and subscribe to our channel. Also, could you leave your comments below and tell us, what are your thoughts on Harris Faulkner leaving Fox News? We want to hear from you. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.